actually know what that sounds like. Flash, meanwhile, going to plant down a turret to the lower right, apparently. Just gonna you're not gonna expand here. If you're gonna expand here, I'm gonna freaking know you're gonna expand here, buddy. It's not gonna happen. Science facility on the way. On the opposite side, very early 2-base hive from ZerO. ZerO gonna be playing with his usual weird strategies. Has a lot of workers out in the air that spire not to produce any sort of mutalisks at all. And Flash meanwhile gonna move to the lower left hand. Oh, drone moving right towards there. Goodbye, drone. No expansion to the lower left hand. So Flash, at the very least, is gonna prevent expansion. Oh, but ZerO has already a hidden drone at the lower left-hand position. Flash at the moment just trying to prevent expansions from coming up. And meanwhile, he's going to prevent it from putting up his own mineral only. So he might actually think of possibly picking up the 12 o'clock island or maybe even the 9 o'clock island while ZerO picks up natural expansion at the lower left-hand position. Some lurkers and Zergings and such are going to move and try to pick that off. Actually, so if Flash would move those forces down into the natural, he'd be able to go and force a cancel on that hatchery. That would be so insane. One single medic there to heal all those forces. That's not really a big help. ZerO is kind of playing kind of risky at the lower left end, but possibly he's thinking just as soon as those forces move in, try to pick up that hatchery, move in and finish him off. Very early Defiler Man, just 2 base Defiler Man, 2 gases. Has just Zerglings and the lurkers to engage those. Meanwhile, no, Flash gonna pick off that side server, gives himself some sight, and is going to go to the lower left hand. Did get a scan off. He's not quite sure whether he's going to go for a cancel, because exactly what ZerO did go for, just send his forces down. He is going to be, Flash is going to, not even canceling, just taking out that hatchery outright, but is going to lose all of his forces for a trade-off. That wasn't even a cancel. He just, I think, killed that base outright. So he sacrificed a lot of forces to that, but I think he'll take it. Meanwhile, now going to try to siege up and move out a little bit. Zergling is coming in close, almost managing to pick off that tank. One single science vessel out in the field. So Flash finally is going to be allowed to move out a little bit, but a lot of workers on the field, so he has to be very careful. So he did go for Biomech. See, those tank. Haha, more 7th racks at this point. Waiting for Irradiate. Might already have Irradiate, actually. Not quite sure. Might wait. But I don't really not quite sure. I think he's waiting for Radiate just to extend raiding some of those lurkers that are in his way. Defiler's out in the field. They're going to be a huge help. Those lurkers, of course, very effective on Defiler, and not really much in the way. There are some tanks, a few firebats in the mix as well, but not enough in number to really engage. I have completely forgotten now in my head whether Science Vessels have an upgrade that gives them higher mana or energy or whatever. Completely out of my head. I assume they do, but totally far out of my head. ZerO just getting a first Dark Swarm up near the middle, just pushing back a little bit. One of the tanks got picked off, and now he's again expanding the natural expansion to the lower left hand tank. Cv's moving in, just taking pot shots, forcing Athel's lurkers under the Dark Swarm. Not really going to be able to do too much. I think he's actually moving down a little bit. Some lurkers going to get buried down. What is the Science Vessel? Science Vessel coming in. He's going to at least be able to clear some of those lurkers. The lurkers coming in very close, getting a Dark Swarm off. Going to yet again force Flash down. Flash being forced to run to position. Lost his tanks at this point, I believe. Being forced to run the lower right, which is really nothing there. Has, meanwhile, some submarines, medics, and a couple of tanks just outside his natural expansion. But at this point, I feel ZerO's actually controlling the flow of the game. And I got to say, if ZerO wins this, it's going to be a huge upset. ZerO's going to, yet again, go very far into an individual tournament because he's already done very well in the MSL. And he's also in the round of 8 in the OSL this year. So he's overall been doing very well right now. He wants a good result. Oh, man, the Science Vessel came by. Gets picked off anyway. Actually, a scan going off while these medic marines going to try to pick these lurkers off. But, they managed to pick the lurkers off, but all the freaking marines die. Now these Zergins have just tried to just, come on, marines, die, stop healing yourself, die, come on, finally. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm running in the back. Like, I'm sick of you guys. Never mind. It's going to take an age. I need these forces elsewhere. The Overmind says so. I need a sip of water. That's what the Overmind says. Oh, dear God. Meanwhile, ZerO going to expand yet again the lower left hand, the main at this point. Flash, as meanwhile not being allowed to put down a third base, still moving around, has a couple of Science Vessels out now. Irradiating those Defilers finally, but I think as soon as Scourge come out, he could be in a little bit of trouble, especially if he doesn't micro his forces. He doesn't have that number. He doesn't have that ball. He does have some force up, but he doesn't have the ball he wants. Going for those tanks, especially, that's also a sacrifice. It means you're gonna sacrifice a few more, the larger count of Science Vessels, and basically that's the biggest sacrifice you're gonna make. Also, you might be forced not to produce as many Firebats alongside. So Firebats are not going to be what you're going to want to use. Tanks to engage forces under the Dark Swarm instead of Firebats. And for Firebats take a lot less hits and are much easier to kill, but again, they're much more maneuverable in that matter. Yet again, Flash thinking of going to low left and doesn't have any tanks to support farmer lurkers. There's Scourge coming in. Yeah, lurker that's been irradiated. That's going to die. Flash at this point really just, I feel he needs to just continue moving around, trying to pick off some stray units here and there, picking them off, but needs to expand. I think he might be doing that towards the lower right-hand corner. I'm not quite sure about that. Might be actually picking up his mineral only. It's kind of real hard to tell just because he's teal, and on the minimap, the minerals are also teal, so it's really hard. Has 5 science vessels up, so he's getting his science vessel count up. Also trying to just force those Scourge back to make sure they don't kill his science vessel. He needs to just keep his number up. Science vessel coming in is going to get pick off the Scourge. That's pretty good. Oh! Man, look. Oh, it was a lot of those Marines that one single lurker shot, though, just because he was forced to focus on those Scourge for a little while, not managing to pull him back in time. Yeah, saved a science vessel to lose a bunch of Marines instead. Ouch. But let's see here. Nidus is up, and we're going to see what whether ZerO just keeps up at this what he wants. He just Lurkerling with Lurkerling Defiler at this point with some Scourge to try to pick off some science vessels, and he's going to be on 4 gases now, so he might want to transition to ultras. No, going to drop, coming in. Oh, one a dropship goes down. Oh, more Scourge coming in. Splits. Oh, beautiful cloning there, picking off 2 of them. Plague goes off, misses the science vessels. The radiate goes down Defiler, but those ground forces get plagued. So that's pretty bad. No attack going to come in at the natural expansion there, and those medics are going to be forced to just waste precious energy to heal those plague units, which of course is absolutely useless. You got to wait for the plague to wheel off. And yeah, Ultra Scatter is on the way. Upgrades are going full force from those 2 evolution chambers. Flash still doesn't have that number of forces he wants, still doesn't have that other base. I think he definitely has a mineral only from what I can see on the minimap. Did go apparently for a drop towards the natural expansion, at least forcing the drones to be microed away a little bit. Not going to manage to pick off the Defiler. Defiler going to, oh man, just eat some more Zerglings, possibly. Was going to see whether it actually gets another Swarm off, maybe even a Plague, and actually move on, try to move on with its life. Actually going to go into the Nidus Canal. Actually a little bit too, yeah, jeez. More Hydras coming out. Gonna be Scourge coming out. Clone. Oh, yeah, nice micro there. Money's gonna fly right into the path of those medic marines. Still has those medic marines outside the natural expansion. They're at least preventing a little bit of mining, I think. But finally, Lurker's coming in, so they're gonna be able to pick this off pretty quick. Goodbye, Marines. Nice time. Nice meeting you. Ultra Cavern is out, and 4 bases. Those 4 bases, 4 gas really helping them out. Flash does have 2 upgrades. I'm not quite sure where ZerO is in those upgrades. And if he has enough, as soon as he gets that speed and that armor upgrade for the Ultra, he's going to be in a pretty good position. Is going to expand the lower right-hand position. Does have a command center up. Does have some forces that are able to help defend on the ramp. Yet another dropship going to come in. Needs to do some sort of economic damage. He hasn't done economic damage this entire game, but I think that dropship is going to get spotted. Yeah, there are those Zerglings ready for it. Actually, no. Medic Marines alongside. Okay, there's a drop coming in, but it's actually going on the 9 o'clock island. That's very interesting. Meanwhile, going to move in an attack towards the natural expansion. Getting one of his science vessels hit, but not picked off. More Scourge coming in. We're going to see one manage to save. One science vessel goes down. Dark Swarm comes up. And a Plague, getting a lot of the science vessels, a lot of the ground forces as well. Beautiful Plague by ZerO. Seriously, God, ZerO's with his play, he's just you can see a little bit of GG play in his play because his Defiler control is